All right, hey everybody. This is Greg from Microsoft Hates Greg, and today I am super excited about this video that I'm going to be showing you. So we're gonna go and reveal three more secrets of Mushkookum. Okay, but the exciting part is at the end. If you stick around to the end, I got a big reveal and surprise for everyone. Okay, so stick around to the end. I think you'll be as excited as I am because I can't wait to get to that part. All right. All right. So if you watched my last video, before we get into the three secrets, if you watched my last video, I introduced the world to Powersort, right? So Powersort was this tool I was creating for the my partnership with Enterprise DNA, this tool set that I'm building out there for them, and came up and said, hey, maybe we can get a free version of this thing, right? So talk to Sam McKay over at Enterprise DNA. And if you're not following what Sam's doing over at Enterprise DNA, or Brian Julius, or the entire crowd over there, you're really missing out. I'm telling you, they just a great group of people, chill to work with. So anyway, I brought up to Sam about getting a free version out there, and Sam's like, absolutely, of course. So that's what I did. So you can go out to the GitHub site, right? That's the Microsoft Hates Greg GitHub site right there. And what you can do then is you can find the Powersort installer right there. There you go. Download that, run it, install it, and you'll have this guy installed, Powersort. So Mushkookum Powersort is what I'm calling it. So again, as you can tell, it's got the advertisings back and that sort of thing. And I nerfed it slightly, but I do have a lot of ideas that I want to put into the pro version of that. So as I do that, hopefully I come back here and unnerf a little bit of functionality. But it's still, I think it's pretty simple to, you go out and find your columns. Hey, I want to set certain columns. There's my month sort column. Okay. Set my year month column to my year month sort. Okay. And then maybe I'll set my year to this my year column. Boom, go ahead and set sort by columns. It's finished. And if we look back at our model, right, and I go, oh, I got to refresh because did some work there. So now if I go to my month year column and right there, year month sort, and my month, it's month sort. So yeah, there you go. Easy peasy, right? So okay, so that's the update on sort by or Powersort, right? Okay, so that's out of the way. Let's get into the three secrets of Mushkookum. And I've kind of structured these so that they should go from the least secretive to the most secretive, if you will. All right. So first secret, and I mean it's the least secretive because I've shown it a few times in my video, but I think maybe it's sometimes it goes a little fast and maybe people aren't paying attention. But what I wanted to point out is that these labels here are editable, right? So if I go in here, I say custom weekday, and I say, hey, I get the raw version of that, and I don't like what this says, and so I wanted to say something else. And since I haven't changed anything, I can set create custom. So it updates that measure definition. So now when I come back here, it says something else, right? Easy. So these things, I know maybe it's bad UI UX design to have this so it's not obvious that these are editable, that these are really just text boxes with a transparent background versus a label. But I had to make a design call there, and this is what I came up with. Still wanted to give it the label kind of feel within the interface, but I wanted you to be able to edit the labels. I didn't want to create a bunch of extra buttons and other things. So that's just the way it works. All right. So the next one, if you were paying attention on my interview with Reed Havens just recently, and this subject came up, and I didn't want to try it because I didn't want to crash Mushkookum, during a live broadcast. It turns out it wouldn't have crashed, right? And so let me go ahead and show you this next one. So this next secret has to do with display folders, okay? And I thank Reed Havens for turning me on to this. So I know at least Reed knows about this little trick. Okay, so I'm just going to create any measure or whatever, and we know we can create these, right? So we can create this custom weekday measure. We'll just call it custom weekday. All right, we'll go ahead and create this. And it says it created successfully. Let's make sure that we're cooking with gas. All right, good. Custom weekday, there we go. So we go back here and we know that we can create it in a folder, right? So folder, I'll call it custom weekday 1, and we'll say create. And look over here, and we should have in our, collapse this. And there we go. There's our folder, and there's our custom weekday 1. But did you know that you can do this? Let's go custom weekday 2, folder 1, folder 2. So I put a semicolon in here, right? So you zoom in on that. Folder, semicolon, folder 2. And I hit create. And it says it did it. And there is folder and folder 2. And so now that custom weekday measure actually is in 2 different folders. So you can put in, using a semicolon, you can actually put in 2 different folder paths. And maybe it works with 3. You'll just have to experiment and find out. So yeah, I didn't know you could. I had no idea that you could do that. But yeah, it worked flawlessly when I tried it. So there you go. There's another secret that I'm sure not too many people know about. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, third and final secret before we get to the big reveal. All right, so this has to do with, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but see this data source, localhost, and this is actually the connection string, okay, to the local Azure analysis services tabular cube, server in that. So this is what you're connecting to essentially within MSHGQM. That's what, same thing that Power BI is connecting to, more or less. Okay. So, that's not a secret, right? I mean, it's right there in, for everyone to see. But did you know? And this is why I don't think too many people are going to know about this, because I'm sure you guys all like the nice way of running Power BI from right from the external tools bar. Okay. But you don't have to run it that way. So if I go out here and I run Microsoft Hates Greg's Quick Measures, just the exe file, right? I just go ahead and double click on it. Oh, look at that. It brings up a connection string dialog. And you click OK. And you're connected to the same exact data set as before, right? So I can come in here. Yep, there's all my same things, right? And it works just the same. So the important part to point out here is that in all of the tools that I develop work this way, okay? Where if they don't start up from the external tools tab, where you're not, basically really what you're doing is you're feeding it a server and a database parameter. So if I ran that command line from a command line, that same exe file, and I fed in a server name and a database name, then it would also open up and be connected automatically and not show the connection string dialog. So takeaway from that, Powersort, MSHGQM, all the tools work this way, and you can actually connect it to an analysis services tabular cube or anything you want to connect, in terms of anything that you want to connect it to. It doesn't have to be a Power BI data set, is what I guess I'm want to say. All right. So there are the 3 secrets for MSHGQM. And now, drum rolls, we have the big reveal, which is I have been spent, this whole weekend. It was my birthday weekend, actually. So between going axe throwing with my friends to celebrate my birthday, it's been one gigantic coding marathon, okay? And drum roll, so what do we have to show for it? Well, we've got this new cool tool here, man, Metadata Mechanic Pro. All right, this is a brand new tool. So what's it do? Let's find out. All right, here we go. Look at this. So Metadata Mechanic Pro. Okay, so look at all these switches you can configure and stuff. So what this is for is this lets you mass set all of the metadata for your tables, in your columns, in your measures, all in one place, right? And a bunch of automation. So basically what you can do is I can say get metadata and take, there we go. So there's all my tables, there's all of my columns, there's a lot of them, right? And then there's all of these measures and everything in here. And I'm not going to take you through everything that you can do, but I mean, take let's say, so you can go and say, okay, I just want to see columns from my table, okay, and you update the metadata, and now there's my columns, right? So for all of them, and right, you can see here, hidden is false for all of them, okay. So I can say this is for everything, right? Everything that's hidden in the model. So I click on that. Anything that's not hidden in the model, I can set anything that's displayed here. I can say, okay, update the metadata. So that what that does is that's this is what's going to get run and configured for everything. And then I can say set metadata. And it says finished. And if I go back to my model, right, and it's moved to the top, so I can't see it. It's gone. So I have to go here, and there's my table, and everything's hidden. Boom. Right. So think about doing that. Your entire data model, everything you want to hide. Hey, you always forget the commas, right? So if right now I've got these things, so I'm gonna say, okay, I want these to be commas for all of that. I update my metadata, right? Set the metadata, finished, and now these things have now been updated so that they have the correct 1,000 separator. Boom. There you go on all of them. So, I mean, think of the possibilities on this. I mean, so I've been really excited to get this tool done and complete. About tore my hair out on this one particular thing around format strings. Oh, and then two other things I want to show you. I just, so like, for example, I come in here, go back to all, update the metadata. Okay, there are all my measures I created, right? Remember, I created all those measures. So maybe they're in durations, they're in dates. I don't want these guys to be in there. So, well, I don't want to hide them. So what I do now is I go over here and say I want these all to be in my table. Okay, and I update the metadata. Home table is all table. Set the metadata. Says it's finished. Come back here. There's table. There's my custom. It moved all my measures got moved. Boom, just like that. Just like that. All right. So one of the things I thought was really cool is then maybe you're wondering this vertical tabbing, right? So vertical tabbing, the way it works is, so instead of tabbing horizontally across like normal, vertical tabbing lets you tab right down vertically, right? So if you have like, let's say say true, I want to hide these or something, and so I can just copy, paste, kind of do that kind of stuff. Tab, Control A, Control V, tab, Control E, Control V. Yeah, right. So anyway, wanted to show you this. I think it's super cool. I think it's got a lot of possibilities. You probably get yourself into trouble pretty quickly with this thing. But anyway, thought you'd be interested in taking a look at it. And yeah, I think it's really cool. It has just so many possibility things you can do. And like, I mean, you got description, whether it's hidden or not, your data category, display folders, format strings, your data types, summarize by. So yeah, that's something else that you can do, right? So I can say all of my everything. I want to do everything. I want to change them all to counts. As far as my columns, right? So all of my columns now are going to be counts. And I can hit metadata, and boom, they're all going to be counts, right? So anyway, been dying to show this off, man. But so anyway, that's it. That's the end of this video. You got the updates on Powersort. You got the 3 secrets, and you have a first look at Metadata Mechanic. And look at that snazzy icon there, man. That is, my son created that icon. I love it. I just told him, all I did was I want the lightning bolt with a wrench, and so he put the wrench and the screwdriver there, and it's exactly what I wanted. I couldn't ask for anything better. So anyway, thank you, Rocket, and appreciate that. And yeah, that's it. You guys have a great rest of your day.